of the regime.
Thank you very much, Mr. Blum, for sharing that. Please stay with us as we come back. We have a breaking news coming in from U.S. Trade Representative Jamieson Greer has stated that negotiations with Indonesia are expected to be finalized in the next couple of weeks, highlighting the country as a key trade partner. Greer has also mentioned that trade discussions with China will intensify ahead of the upcoming meeting between President Trump and President Xi Jinping in April. On the USMCA, Greer has acknowledged that talks with Canada have been more challenging, but emphasized that negotiations are ongoing. Additionally, he has confirmed that bilateral talks with Mexico are also currently underway as part of efforts to continue strengthening trade relations within North America. Now we move on to Iran and Oman. Iran's top security official, Ali Larijani, is in Oman for talks following recent U.S.-Iran discussions in Muscat. Oman's Minister of the Royal Office, Sultan bin Mohammed Al Numani, meets with the head of the Supreme National Security Council in Iran, Ali Larijani, in Muscat. Larijani, who heads Iran's Supreme National Security Council, is set to meet with Omani Foreign Minister Badr al-Busaidi as well. The discussions will focus on regional developments and economic cooperation between Iran and Oman. Larijani is also expected to visit Qatar after his stay in Oman. Now we welcome back Mr. Blum. He's joining us live from Delhi. Thank you very much, Mr. Blum, for staying with us. Now, what's the relationship between Oman and Iran?
I mean, I'll tell you, it sounds pretty crazy. That Oman is really, they're betting on the Islamic regime of surviving. It doesn't make sense to, it makes sense to host the negotiations. You want to be a host. But when you start to take that to the next level and start working diplomacy, start investing in economic development and cooperation between Oman and the Islamic regime, you're essentially saying, listen, I'm on your side. I want you to survive, and I'm going to invest in your survival. What's going to happen the day after with the country of Iran under new leadership? They are not going to have relationships with Oman. Israel certainly not. The United States probably isn't gonna have to. So it's really, I think, maybe Oman. I mean, nobody's ever talked about Oman in the last, I don't know how many decades. So now that they're hosting in these negotiations and all eyes are on there, maybe they're, I don't know, maybe they're thinking that they're not too big for their shoes. And so I really don't know what the inside word is, but I don't think that's a very smart move. I think if anything, you become a neutral player and you host the negotiations and you make sure that people have a place to sleep and that they have security and transportation. And that the air conditioning works. And I think that's it. I think once you go beyond that, I think that you are playing with fire, because the day after, everybody's looking at the day after without the leadership of the Islamic regime leading the people of Iran.
So do you think, as you know, we know that it's not just Oman, there are some other countries too still having relationship with Iran, right? It's not just Oman, it's Russia, it's China, maybe it's other countries as well. So do you think they're betting on no regime change? Do you think there's a difference of ground reports or understanding between these countries and the West and also Israel?
I mean, listen, I don't really think they have any love to the Islamic regime. I think what they're looking at the Islamic regime as strategic partners, and I see the Middle East still as a battleground for the Cold War, and so you see China and Russia is aligned with Iran. Now you're seeing Turkey looking to move in and align with themselves with Iran as well, and you're seeing a number of the Gulf states, and then you see Israel in the West, and then you see some other Gulf states aligning with the West, and I think that you're seeing this East meets West kind of battle. And I think those like Russia and China are looking at Tehran and the leadership there, not as an ally per se, although they do have cooperation, they do have interest in them being in power. But the vacuum that would be created if they were going to leave, and the people then rise up and call for free and fair elections and have a liberal democracy, that not only puts China and Russia on warning, but the whole Middle East, all Saudi Arabia, who hasn't had an election ever, Jordan. I mean, you're talking about this movement of the Cold War, which is essentially the free movement of people, the liberal Western values and democracy, fighting against tyranny, communism, Islamism. And so I think that's what we're seeing here, is that they're seeing kind of like that maybe Tehran could be part of like the House of Cards. If Tehran falls, who else could be next? And could there be another Arab Spring in order to challenge the levers of power that are in the region and beyond?
With that, I'd like to thank Mr. Blum for joining us from Eli and sharing that insight. Thank you very much. Now we move on to Russia. Russia's FSB security service has detained a third suspect in connection with an